What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey, because it's a General Energy Weekly Spread. Yeah. Alright, enough of that, Scorpio. That was weird. But with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the weirdness with me, and never force a reading on the situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. There's great energy all around here, Scorpio. So I'm going to pull a few oracle decks from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as it makes sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like there, Scorpio, so definitely check them out. Fantastic, very intuitive, different blend of energy, so hopefully you like them. Go send them some love. But let's get to your first card here, Scorpio. Oh, look at you. Things are getting serious, Scorpio. Yeah, the second card of Gemini's here, which is the Rings card. Look at all that love. And with this card, this is a card of contracts, agreements, bonds, strong connections, unions, partner, counterpart, lovers, telepathy, like-minded people, committed partner, engaged, interconnected, and soulmate here. And interesting here, Scorpio, it seems like that with this energy, and listen, this doesn't just have to be in a love aspect, but there's just in general, there seems to be in energies here of either we've been making it's either about strengthening existing bonds that we already have. If you have those just people in our lives. Again, it could be friends, family, your lover, even maybe even co-workers, bosses, whatever. Just if you have someone that you've just been appreciated, maybe you haven't talked to them in a little while. You got this deep bond. It's been a minute since you connected, and if they've been on your mind, reach out to them, Scorpio. And this could even be someone, maybe if it's not like a current thing. Maybe there was like a strong connection that we had in the past, but maybe over time, maybe with time, and maybe even like we moved possibly, or maybe the other person moved, there's been this distance and things, and maybe we just you're remembering how maybe back in the day you just went, I don't know, I'm getting very almost like nostalgic here, where it's just like we had an energies of that someone that we connected with on like a almost like a soulmate level, or like a telepathic level, where just like things just seem to flow effortlessly. But I will say, if this is something where we are meeting up with someone from the past, and not to say that we're setting our expectations, or no, not, but remember, when we do reconnect with others, I do feel like that, especially if it's been a while, remembering that there are going to be, significant changes. Where it may be kind of same vessel here, we go up depending on how life experience have gone. There will be some, maybe some big differences, some things you may have used to connect on may not be the same, and that may be something to pay attention to. Maybe there's been some connection that's been kind of like sort of like maybe steeped in nostalgia, but it's just like, how has a relationship grown since then? It's almost very interesting. It's almost like, it's not that we're like doing like an overhaul with our connections or anything, Scorpio, but it just feels like that maybe we're for somewhere in the state of like reevaluation. And because we are, Cancer season is about thinking about those kind of deeper connections. And Scorpio, you're associated with the 8th house, even if you don't have placements there. And the 8th house, that's your house. That's that deals with, like, it's taking Libra energy, that one-on-one relationship, and taking it to that next level where there's, like, joint finances finances involved and wills, and it even gets into energies of loans and things like that too. So that might be something for some others if we're getting into some sort of like business contracts, or maybe we're thinking about taking loans for like a house payment, or just like it's like we're taking things to the next level. I feel like that it's making sure to just kind of evaluate those bonds as well, Scorpio. And again, it's not that I feel like someone's trying to pull the fast one on in. Listen, Scorpio, you're intuitive. I feel like no one can keep things from you. So there's just like very interesting energy here. Let's get some tarot on this. Get some details. Alright, Scorpio. Let's see what's going down here. Okay, so you have the Ace of Coins in reverse here. Oh, excuse me, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And then you have the Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Three of Cups, and then the Page of Wands upright here. And I almost feel like for some, maybe we're at this point where if this is a relationship, let's say, it feels like it almost feels like maybe for some we're thinking about taking off the burden of life, in the sense of like, when it feels like that maybe we've been working towards our Ace of Pentacles here for a little while, and now we're ready to maybe make this like a, I don't know, it feels like it's like a team effort that's wanting to happen here, just something to kind of lighten this load. And I don't feel like that's not what we're necessarily going in, that's not the main reason we're going in for this like relationship. And listen, I ain't get you know this is a judgment free zone here, Scorpio. If y'all wanna, I was in a relationship, we was all up in our King and Queen of Pentacles, and I mean it was dope, and there's not to say there wasn't any feelings, got Three of Cups here, Scorpio, Page of Wands, a little passion there, but I feel like that, just considering this card, it's this rings, it's just like maybe for some of us it is asking that question of why we are getting into something, realizing, paying attention to what we're getting ready to manifest here, and what ideas are, how these ideas are going to take shape long term. It feels like that. I don't know, and it's like for some others it feels like that we're ready to take things to the next level, but it's just like, let me get a little more on this Ace of Pentacles here, because I'm just it's the why I'm curious more so with what's going on here then, because that's where it feels like that let me get a little bit more on this Ace of Pentacles here, Scorpio. Okay, let's see what else we got here, Scorpio. So the Ace of Pentacles is clarified by the Queen of Cups and the Three of Pentacles upright here, and then it has the Hanged Man in reverse. And so maybe we're in this place for some of us, it's like it's almost like there's this split here. It's like that maybe there's some are here to, it's like some are looking to maybe either form a bond to, and I'm not sure how this is looking, but it's just like we're getting into some kind of agreement where it's like we're trying to create something here. It's like we're trying to bring these ideas or these passions to life, and it's like with the Three of Pentacles popping up here, I feel like that maybe there's either like a clash maybe for some of like how these ideas are coming together, or whatever this is. It does feels like that, and I don't feel like in like a negative way per se. It's like there are emotions involved with the Queen of Cups being here, but it just seems like that it's like one side wants one thing and maybe one side wants another for That's very interesting. I think I'm gonna leave that particular energy there, Scorpio. Just is that one seems like that there's a need to have like need to kind of really have a sit down and just kind of reach a perspective that we can both sides can agree on here. If this is because that feels almost maybe a little more business. Maybe we're in this like it's like gives me almost like we're trying to maybe like a couple people just like you're just starting to trying to bring up something new. Maybe we're pitching ideas right now. We're just in like that brainstorming phase. So I feel like it's keeping an open mind there, but this energy also does feel like that maybe for some others we are getting into a place of because this definitely gives me a romantic vibe, and maybe where some of us are in this place of just kind of a similar type of thing, more so just like I feel like the idea of what you can build together is just really starting to come to life here. We're really getting to this place of like kind of like locking down or just like really doing a lot of future thinking about maybe what our home is going to look like, just hmm. Yeah, I think overall, Scorpio, the message is just, just while you're going through these big processes and maybe making these bigger decisions, just real and just thinking about trusting your intuition, paying attention to how this makes you feel, and if there are any sort of doubts or anything along those lines, just make sure because it seems it's like everything on here it feels right, but it's just like if we just something, a little something extra that just like we have any concerns or things, maybe just kind of give it a little more time, kind of sleep on this thing. But well, all right, Scorpio. Yeah, I hope that made sense. Interesting energy. Let's get another oracle on the mix here. Wow. All right, we got rings, we got family. I'm with it. So we got the fourth card of Leo's here, which is the family card. And with this card, there's a card of loyalty, faithful, allegiance, parents, children, siblings, fidelity, commitment, trust, affection, support systems, origins, tribe, dependable, sincere, and kindred spirits. And the trust really kind of sticks out here, Scorpio. And I feel like for your sign that makes sense. It's because I feel like especially for like fixed energy, even if you don't have a lot of it, Scorpio being a fixed sign, I feel like it's like when you're in something, you're in it. And so it's going to be one of those things that it's like we want to evaluate this thing from all sides. And maybe that's what this is over here. This little pocket is just like maybe where we've been in this state of where we've been kind of maybe playing the field for a little bit. You're formulating this idea of family. It's like maybe there's been like maybe we've had some past relationships maybe with some just like maybe more kind of immature energies here, but it's like now we're in this state of really feeling a little more secure, a little more confident in our decisions here with the Queen of Cups being here. But I feel that if we are in this state of or one thing I feel like to be mindful when we are kind of looking for this, building this family, thinking about that long-term commitment, we can sometimes I feel take the energies from like past experiences, and where I feel like it's one thing to reflect on those things and get discernment. If you see any kind of red flags, make communicating the stuff like, hey, this is not my jam. What's that about? Like getting any sort of like conflicts, burdens, any sort of the energies like that out of the way. But I feel like it's another when we're setting up like these roadblocks here, where it's like we got to do, and we got to take things at our own pace. Like I do respect that, but it feels like that if we set up almost like initiations or like these tester things along those lines to kind of like keep them jumping through hoops. It's and listen, Scorpio, and this goes the same like if you find that for if people have been maybe treating you like that, but very interesting here. Yeah, there's a lot of energy here of just like the fidelity and the faithfulness. And again, this doesn't have to just be in romance. It just feels like that there's, because this could be maybe we've had some business partners in the past that things didn't quite go right, and now we may be trying to shoulder everything ourselves. Like, it's a lot going on here. A lot of deep, maybe questioning. Like, let's get some tarot on this and get some more. Because I'm even thinking with that Hanged Man being in reverse, that's Neptune energy. And Neptune deals with Neptune is very compassionate energy. Same with the Queen of Cups. And I feel like that sometimes it's, when we have relationships of any kind that kind of leave us burnt and leave us kind of like we've gone through the ringer, and it can get us to this place of where maybe even an epiphany that came is just like, what, we're done with others. We're just going to kind of isolate and do, maybe we go become a monk on a mountain, and where there ain't nothing wrong with that, Scorpio. I do feel that it's remembering that all relationships, no matter how they go, when they come into life, there is a reason for that. There's a state of growth that's going to come from that. Even no matter how long or how short. And I feel like it's the energies are even too could even be in a state of reminding us of being mindful of becoming jaded, and just in the state of just like kind of apathetic here. But let's get your cards here. Interesting. What up, girl? So you got the Eight of Pentacles and the Empress up right here, and then we have the Six of Cups, where your cards, the Sun in Scorpio in reverse here. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, it feels for some like maybe there's this place of where we had some past stuff happen, some experiences that have been kind of ingrained in us, and it's just like, what, after so many times, we have failure after failure after failure after failure. Let's say, for example, if this is love, it's just been kind of back to back, and it's just like, what, after this I'm never going to do this again, not going to do that again, not going to blah blah blah. But it feels that it almost feels like that there's something deeper here, that especially if we've noticed a trend with, and this can go outside. Maybe we've had friends who've maybe have betrayed our trust, or if we've had lovers, maybe even we had family members, because you got a lot of motherly energy here with the Empress and the Queen of Cups here. It doesn't have to be Neptune's feminine energy, but it seems that, or if we've noticed that there's this trend that's going on, it is asking yourself. I don't feel like it's, when we get into, I feel like an attitude of I'll never again, where it, I don't want to put this because that doesn't feel right. Sometimes I feel that when we've gone through something, we can be focused on the fact that the thing happened to us, that we do kind of miss out on what the lesson is. Because if we're noticing a trend where, I'm not saying you're causing this thing, Scorpio, but if we're, for example, if we happen to attract like a bunch of liars, it's just like, why is that? It's like, what is it that I'm missing that this keeps happening? Are these people letting me know early on? It's just like, am I missing a certain behavior, and it's almost like even just kind of switching up to just being even a little more observant, possibly even just to kind of really pay attention to what people are saying, and again, and even how their actions are lining up. And if there's, because the Empress, she's a culmination of the Queen. She's very intuitive, and if something is disturbing her peace, if someone's coming in and bringing weird energy that's just disrupting the balance and affecting her stability, then we're gonna have a conversation. But I do feel like that there is something valuable that is coming from these experiences, Scorpio, because when you think about Neptune and Venus, Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, and I feel that it's if we've just had some sort of like repetition where it's the same kind of old thing over and over again, it's just like, what is just really just kind of asking what is that, and really kind of, and then getting in this Eight of Pentacles of working on getting this. Okay, I got an example. Yeah. Well, so I have a tendency sometimes. My Venus is in Leo, and I really love that first real phase of when you first fall in love, and it's all that honeymoon phase. Oh, live for it. I keep that going indefinitely. But there was a tendency I noticed that I haven't been in many relationships, but I do notice that there were times when that phase does end. I'll maintain things, but it's just like I lose a little of the steam when that starts to fade, and that's something that I've had to personally work on. It's not like I've noticed things in the past where I had made once things kind of got a little boring, and couple that I got a Gemini moon, so it's just like as soon as things got a little boring, a little monotonous, I was like bye, and and that's not healthy, and it's in a sense of just like why is that? Then maybe you should be by yourself. There was a lot of questions that I had to ask myself. So it's just that's kind of what this energy feels like. There's a lot going on here, Scorpio. Yeah, I really hope that made sense. Let me get a little bit more on the Empress. Well, the Empress got something else to say. And that makes sense too, because Empress rules. She's involved with relationships, of all kinds. She rules over Libra and Taurus. Interesting. So the Empress is clarified by the Six of Wands in reverse, and then you got the Knight of Pentacles and the Fool here. And you know what? Maybe some of you got the same kind of issue. Well, and not that it's an issue, but it's just something to get eyes on, because then, granted, after noticing that spell, I was in a long time, I got in a long-term relation for a long time, and it was a nice little thing. But this energy does kind of feel like maybe for some that as soon as things... I'm not sure if it's maybe when things start getting tough for you, or maybe it gets tough for another person, that things just seem to just kind of reset themselves, and maybe we're in the state of, I don't know, it just feels like with the Fool and the Knight of Pentacles, if we're starting up something new, Knight of Pentacles, let's take this thing kind of slow at first. Let's kind of see how this thing is growing. Because with the Six of Wands, where this is a card of victory in things, it's nice, when you just pay attention to this victory aspect of it, it looks brilliant. But there's a lot of work that goes into that to keep this thing brilliant, to keep this Empress dream going. So I feel like that is like before we jump into things, making sure that we're there for the long haul. That there's that it's going to be something that we want to build long term here. It's very interesting energy, Scorpio. Let's get your last oracle card here. And considering that you got the Empress, this family, rings, Queen of Cups. Thank you. If we're thinking about babies, this could be a time to celebrate. This could be the time. Make your move. Venus is going to be in Leo for a little while. Very passionate energy. But if not, let's be mindful. Let's take things slow. just think about this stuff here. But let's get your last card. Because look at that. All right. Because you got the first card of Virgos here, which is the Mother Lode card. Look at that. We've built this family, trust these bonds, and now we've made it. I love it. So because the Mother Lode card is a card of prosperity, jackpot, success, good fortune, having plenty, moneymaker, sudden wealth, the real deal, on easy street, accomplishments, advantage, fortune, and the prime source. And I do feel like that for some of you, Scorpio, hopefully for all of you. I do feel like that this is going to be something where we do want to take our time when we're forming these unions and these bonds and things. Because Jupiter's because this Knight of Pentacles, and Venus rules over Taurus, like I was saying. Knight of Pentacles is Taurus energy, and Jupiter is in Taurus, forming oppositions with your Scorpio placements. So, but I feel like if we're just kind of take it slow with our choices, because oppositions, they're either a situation or people will get you into where we need to make a decision, where there's some choices that need to be made. But I do feel like that there could be a jackpot, that something could... that something could come. I don't feel like it's going to be like a sudden wealth. I think maybe sudden in the fact that the union's happening, but how this mother lode is going to blossom is going to be something that's going to take a little work, but it's going to be bountiful long term. You know, we're thinking the long game here. This does give me, this reading gives me very kind of like I was saying how you're associated with the eighth house, just kind of eighth, that kind of vibe of just really, because that's the house of change as well, and I do a lot of change is going down here when we're getting integrated, thinking about children, you know, possibly even be, you know, I don't know, just extending the tribe. And I do feel with this, there's this energy here of, because maybe again for some of us I feel that there is this sense of doubt here with the eight of pentacles, even though it's upright, it's like we're open, it's like, but there still feels like there's an energy of expecting things to fail or something along those lines. And I feel like we want to be mindful about manifesting dissonance like that, because it's not that I'm saying that we're creating failed relationships, but we put that negative energy out there, and being as powerful intuitive as you are, Scorpio, and how being able to feel how much you do, we want to be mindful of that, because that's something where, you know, speaking of mother lode, that's kind of when we think about Jupiter energy, where Jupiter is abundant, he don't care what the abundance looks like. If we're in Jupiter being in Taurus, if we want to choose to be abundant in that negative aspect, then that's what's solidifying in there. Yes, that's what's become the term. Of course there's going to be some abundance, ace of pentacles and things in between, but could it be the fullest? You know, could it be the max amount that we're trying to get throughout this journey here? But let's get some tarot on this. All right, another one of your cards here. Venus in Scorpio. Venus came out for Scorpio, so I feel like this is a big deal. Not like a small deal, Scorpio. Just depending on how it resonates. But alright, last little bit here, Scorpio. Oh, and look at that. We worked towards that pretty Empress energy. So you got the... So you have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse here. And then you have the Three of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Four of Swords, and then the Nine of Pentacles up right here, Scorpio. Let's switch back over. Because with the Seven of Pentacles, this almost feels like that... It almost feels like that we've gotten to this place where we are kind of doubting whether we can make these solid connections, whether this is familiar, you know, forming a love connection, a business, friends. It's like it seems like no matter even how many choices there are, the rate of expand, I don't know, it feels like seems to be like the tone here, because it's like we're looking for something, or we're looking for someone, or like a situation that's going to help you grow, that's going to bring this sense of mental ease here, and get you in this place where we're feeling, I'm not sure, Scorpio, it's like where we're feeling pushed, or feeling, because the Nine of Pentacles is Venus and Virgo, working toward, like I was saying, working towards that Empress energy. But, and that's interesting too, now that I think about that. I feel like Uranus and Venus are getting ready to have a little, to form an aspect here. So I think they're getting ready to form a square here soon. And that may lead to a change, because Uranus being the planet of change, Venus dealing with beauty and relationships, things along those lines, finances. There may be some situations that like kind of rock the world up a little bit, and we may notice that on a personal level. There might be some, just relationship stuff, or just that's gonna change here. Just just a little rocking. You know, Uranus really does he does a lot sometimes, but. I'm not sure. It seems like that if we can... And, because this even feels like, too, if we're in a relationship and maybe we're feeling that things have been changing a lot as of late and we're not sure how to adapt to these changes, or... Because I don't feel like they're negative changes. I just feel like it's just maybe something different. You know what I mean? I feel like especially since you got that second card of Geminis, and Gemini being a sign of communication, just use it, expressing your thoughts, and just like, hey, if you like, hey, I'm having these doubts, like, I've been feeling blah, 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 blah for a while, and seeing how we can work this stuff out here. But, and then again, bring yourself that mental ease. Very interesting, Scorpio, but I feel like with everything that's going down, because this does feel like a lot, and it feels like that we're playing just 5-dimensional chess here. I do feel that this could possibly be a time for you, and I'm just saying if we're not in a relationship, to maybe kind of focus on yourself, kind of figure out. I'm not sure, Scorpio. This is a very interesting reading here. Let me get a little bit more on the Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. So the Nine of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Wands in reverse here, and then the Emperor upright. And I feel like that it's one of those things, Scorpio, that maybe we've been. I'm not sure if we've been maybe waiting for things to just kind of line up here, or. But it just seems like that we're getting more just kind of in control of our lives, like I feel like that's the energy right now, just really kind of focusing on, even if we're in a relationship, if you feel like there are certain needs that aren't being fulfilled for you, maybe you want to, I don't know, focus on a side gig, or because interesting, I just thought about that too. You got Emperor and the Empress here. Very interesting, Scorpio. I just will say that I feel like there's just like, if we're taking something to a next level, if we're thinking about this next level stuff, I'm not sure. There's just like a conversation that needs to either be had with these people or with this person, or that even there may be something that needs to be aligned internally. Make sure that your Emperor and Empress energy are in the line, that you're feeling balanced and ready enough to step into this, take things to that next level. It's very interesting energy. I think I'm gonna get out of this, Scorpio, but yeah, I hope that made sense. There's a little kind of a lot to think about there, Scorpio. But if any of that made sense to you, you found a little nugget of wisdom in there, give it a thumbs up and share this, Scorpio. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're thinking about just like a lot of big stuff here, thinking about like. You're very interesting energy here, Scorpio, because it almost feels like that. It's like, for some, it's just like if we just get in this marriage, get this family, then everything's gonna be fine. And I don't say that that's not a thing, but I don't know, something bigger than that, Scorpio. But share this, and then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I have these videos each week. And then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer, and I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And as the group grows, I'm going to start posting different meditations throughout. I'll have to figure out what the interval will be, but it'll be pretty regular. Maybe we'll do something like a self-care with the Empress, or gain authority with the Emperor, or something along those lines, enlightenment with the Hanged One. But definitely check that out, Scorpio. And then lastly, look at you getting a hot little ticket. I tell you, I was just talking about the Queen of Cups, saying I hadn't seen her. She had popped out one of Cancer's reading, and I was just like, oh, there she is. I hadn't seen her in a while. Now she's been popping out like all last 3 of the readings, so she heard me. But if you have any Cancer in your places, this is Cancer's card. Sun, Moon, Rising. Come on over to my other channel, Venus. Come on over to my other channel, The Cherry Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. So you got the Knight of Wands in reverse here. Well, I'm getting your Oracle card. It's an interesting mix here, Scorpio, because I'm going to shuffle for this in a second, because it's an interesting mix. Like, I really do feel like there's an energy of like kind of slowing down and maybe asking why we're doing something, when we're jumping into just any sort of long-term commitment. This could be getting like a house, this could be getting in a relationship, getting into I don't know, any sort of contract or anything along those lines. I feel like it's is taking a moment, because where something can seem very exciting, you know, the Knight of Wands is very passionate, very like very is Leo energy, you know, and if there's a thing that he thinks is going to bring him joy, excitement and stuff, but it's just like if we're not mindful of that energy, that could lead us to get us into where the Hangman's reverse, where it's just like, oh, buddy, went too fast. You know, the full went ahead and jumped right off that cliff, and that's where, because even I normally the Fool doesn't come across to me like that, but even just even paying attention to that, just like you know, we may be just kind of be leaping into something, just kind of la la la, and then next thing you know, it's, you know, and listen, this is not me trying to scare you or anything, Scorpio. It's just something about some just slowing down a little bit. But let me get your oracle card. Thank you. Interesting. How funny. Lunar shenanigans. You got the full moon here, and it's interesting, Scorpio, because when I'm recording this, yesterday on the 3rd, it's a full moon. It's full moon in Capricorn too, and Capricorn is about that long term achievement. You know, they're the achievers of the zodiac, and the fathers, and I feel that before it's just like before we commit to something, you know, and again, like it doesn't. I don't mean that we have to wait forever, but it's just like making sure that we've considered all this stuff here before we, you know. I mean, not just all the good stuff, but all the, you know, the pros and the cons, and it's just like we've weighed those things. We're feeling at peace with that. Then I feel like absolutely off to the races, but. The full moon is an interesting one because it is an energy of reflection, Scorpio, and of celebration as well, you know, and I do feel like that there's going to be, whatever these decisions that you're going to make, I think that there is going to bring there will be enlightenment regardless of what's going to come down here. So where, you know, I am saying, you know, where I feel that it's, you know, it's definitely kind of taking your time here. If something does feel right and, you know, it doesn't make sense, but you're just like, let's just kind of, your intuition is telling you, you know, trust the moon, trust those instincts, you know, and see where that, what lessons and abundance is trying to come towards you there, so Scorpio. So I'm with it, but you stay safe out there, thinking about all these contracts and things along those lines. Raise your vibration through the roof. It's very interesting energy, your Scorpio, and maybe take a little time just for yourself, and every now and again, you know, even if we have like a family and things, I feel like everyone needs a space to just kind of collect themselves again, to just kind of recenter, find zen again before we get back out there and working with those energies. So something to think about there too, Scorpio. And I will catch you on the next one later.